And we're following more breaking news from Florida tonight.
That is where Hurricane Ian made landfall about 2 hours ago as a dangerous Category 4 storm with maximum sustained winds of 150 miles per hour. This is a live look right now at Fort Myers right now. You can see the wind and the rain coming down right now at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's really battering that pier right there. And here's a look at what we're seeing in Lee County before the storm officially made landfall around 3 o'clock. Look at the wind just whipping the waves around. And we've been watching the wind and the waves crash all day in Naples, Florida. It's usually a beach, but right now it looks like something else. You could see the debris in the water there, and unfortunately, you see a lot of people not really listening to the warning to stay inside and out of the storm.
Well, certainly a lot of Floridians have been through hurricanes before, but some people have said they were still surprised by the power of Ian before it ever made landfall.
It's just wild, crazy right now. Just didn't expect it to be this bad here. Yeah. Expected it hit more up north than it does here.
Right. This is amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it.
you know, it's scary as well. So, we want to take an opportunity to take a look at it and get back to the comfort of our homes.
No, that's exactly what everyone warns not to do. Don't take a look at it.
Well, it depends on where you live, certainly, and Kelly's been tracking Hurricane Ian for days now.
Right, and the eye of the hurricane came at 3:05 this afternoon, just to the northwest of Fort Myers, which is what we were looking at last night. Unfortunately, it actually increased more intensity overnight than what was forecasted. Taking a look at the latest here, you can still see a little bit of the eye here, but it is definitely weakening now that it has made landfall. And here's a look at the current wind speeds at 140 miles per hour. And the winds, it's moving off to the north-northeast at 8 miles per hour. So this is very slow moving, dumping in very heavy rain. Here's a look at our Doppler here. This is actually in Tampa Bay. You can see the heaviest rain now right over Port Charlotte. But taking a look at where that eye actually landed, it's in an area right here that is just to the northwest of portions of Fort Myers Beach. So once that eye made landfall, then it was determined that it actually made landfall as a hurricane. Here's a look at some of these gusts just recently, just around Cape Coral, 96 mile per hour wind. So this is going to be a brutal storm throughout the overnight. We'll have more coming up.
Yeah, and this hurricane certainly dropping a lot of rain because it is moving so slowly. We've been catching up with Hoosiers today who now live in Florida.
John spoke with one man who's riding out the storm tonight. Hey, John, what'd you find out?
Yeah, well, first of all, here's a look at the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Not getting a lot of use today, understandably. It takes you from Tampa to Sarasota. That's actually where I caught up with one Indianapolis native that recently moved to Florida. His name's Miles Cook, and I've been in touch with him all day as he's watching the hurricane intensify from his home. The last time we spoke, he had not evacuated, still had power. He tells me, though, neighbors nearby asked to leave their homes and are without electricity tonight. Cook has boarded his windows, stocked up on essentials like food and water. And this is the first taste of a hurricane since Cook moved to Florida 2 years ago.
Today, the winds are picking up a lot more now. The last couple of days, just been preparing, putting wood over the windows, getting food, water, all the essentials. This is my first hurricane I've ever been through, so I'm just kind of waiting it out. We're going to see what happens, I guess.
Now, Cook's just one of many Floridians not leaving their homes as the hurricane bears down on them tonight. Coming up at 6, I'll actually introduce you to a couple from Indianapolis who just moved down there a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
And how they're doing hunkering down tonight in Port Charlotte, right where that storm is headed.
All right, we'll see you at 6, John. Thanks.
And take a look at this. NASA sharing this image of Hurricane Ian taken from the International Space Station. Now, from that angle, you can see just how huge this storm really is. It's massive.
It sure is. And more than 1 million people are without power across Florida right now. Utility crews all around the country are headed there right now to help in this hurricane.
Now, first crews prioritize hospitals and essential buildings. Then they focus their work on residential areas with the most outages. Right now, linemen from Indianapolis who volunteered to go are stationed in Marietta, Georgia, waiting to see what kind of damage the storm will cause and how they can help.
It can be stressful. I mean, I know the people, we take electricity for granted. It's not something that you're guaranteed. It's a utility, you pay for it. And people don't understand that Mother Nature is going to take it away anytime that she wants.
Yeah, that's Gardner right there. He's with Local 1393, and they call the work helping others rewarding.
Now, tomorrow morning, his crew is going to report to Orlando as they get ready to work 16-hour days trying to get power back to all the people who right now are without electricity.
And we've been checking to see what Indiana Task Force 1 is doing tonight after leaving for Florida. An hour ago, they hadn't provided any new updates just yet. And at last check, they were in southern Alabama waiting on further directions from FEMA.
Now, you're probably wondering, how can I help? There are ways that you can get involved after this hurricane. We're going to be able to link you to resources from the Red Cross. You'll find them right now on our WTHR News app and also on WTHR.com.